just started listening to MTOI in May. My husband was listening to it since last September. But once we moved into our new place, I started listening to it, and from the first day I started listening to it on YouTube, I just felt like I was at home. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be a part of. So I told my husband that, and we just decided all or nothing. We're gonna do this. And so part of that was coming to the feast, and I'm just thankful that we made it here. Thankful for everybody here, just Rabbi, just everybody, your genuine hearts, genuine love, God's love being shown here.
Anyhow, next thing I know, he's saying, I'm going to give you something for the pain, because I said, oh, my head. And still at that point, I thought that was my brains, right? So what had actually happened, so I don't forget, is that shopping in the back, Pastor Sauce had hit the back of my head and hit literally right above my head, hit the back of my head, hit there and hit there. So chunks of onion
Listen, I counsel some people that I think what's going on in there is chunks of onion and some pasta sauce. So.
Yeah, and it
now
did.
I know you've answered a question.
Yeah.
Elder, it's pasta sauce and chunks of onion going on.
Yeah, chunks of onion do look like brains, and that's why I was like, why am I thinking like my brains are? Anyhow, so I digress.
Looked up the sky, and who are you? I want to know who you are. First I was rude. At least he could tell me his name is before he kills me. And a little later I was crying. I was sad, and please, I just want to know your name, and my life is not worth living. I know I'm not coming into paradise, but right now give my life some meaning. And just all of a sudden, no crying. I know now the word for it. I had complete shalom. My suicide thoughts were away, and I was just looking up the sky. I knew he heard me.
I'm very involved in the church. I can't. It was winter time, and the reason I have to say that it was winter because I went down by the lake where all the dogs are swimming together to keep warm. And I say to God, okay, Father, I have to leave, but I can't. But if I have to leave, you have to bring one dog. It has to swim out, and then I know. And it happened. And I say, no, it didn't happen. This is just a fluke. This is a fluke. Okay, God, it has to happen again, but this time the dog has to come here. And he came. And the dog was looking at me like, quack, quack. Can I go now? Can I go? So that was fun. So I knew I had to go, and then I said to God, okay, I have to go, but I can't. You have to open a window. And he did.
In the middle of a service where I just had one simple question popped into my head, what did Yeshua say? And at that point, I was like, oh, wow. You know, I've memorized all these scriptures and knew the Bible like the back of my hand, but I never took the time to actually try to comprehend the words that came out of Yeshua's mouth. So after that service, I went home and just started with his commandments. You know, just took a notepad and just started writing them all down. And when I was done with that, you know, that was when my bubble popped. And I remember dropping the pad and my eyes were open and I was like, oh my gosh, we should be following Torah. We should be doing what the scriptures say.
Oh, then in February of this year, I got a referral for you. Have you ever heard of Rabbi Berkson? And so I went on YouTube and I looked at Rabbi Berkson and, don't listen to Rabbi Berkson. He's an evil, false prophet. And so I looked at more of you.
Obviously a wise decision.
And I have to say that Grayson Gardner, Mr. Grayson Gardner, as he was doing his announcements, and I went through Shavuot and I went through Pesach and all these other things, and he got really excited about Sukkot. He kept getting really excited about Sukkot, and so I was like, "What is Sukkot anyway?" And then I realized it was
just something Grayson's excited.
It was
about.
It was a three-sided tent, and it was getting together with your fellows and fellowshipping.
And told my wife, no Christmas, no Easter, no any other celebrations. And she said, what? Why can't I celebrate this and that anymore? I said, it's pagan, don't go down that road. I'm not discussing it, we don't do it. She told me, yeah, but I want to celebrate it. It's good, it's a family feast, I want to do it. And I said, no, we are not doing this in my household anymore. And then she said, yeah, what do you want to do instead? I said, I want to celebrate Passover, Sukkot, those feasts. And they said, what, you want to celebrate those Jewish feasts? And I just handed her scriptures, opened it at the verse and said, read, what does it say? I'm Yahweh, this is my feasts. And then she was silent. She said, okay, we're doing it.
And I can tell you, my wife will tell you, something was different when I came home. I brought home that Erev Shabbat paperwork. I brought home the Torah Parsha readings, and we started sitting down reading the Parshas and following along with you guys every Friday night. And my son was like, are we Jewish now? And I'm like, we're not Jewish, but we are going to start doing some of these Jewish traditions and we are going to listen to Rabbi Steve as much as we can, and we are going to find out if we are Seventh-day Adventists or if we are Israelites. And it was probably a couple months in, I'm like, I couldn't go to church anymore. There was nothing left to talk about with people. I couldn't sit there listening to these Sabbath school lessons that didn't make any sense.
I came here with this big inflated ego that I was going to be a famous, I guess, royal ambassador, all this big stuff. And then I start talking to Rabbi, and he goes, yeah, that's all bullcrap. He didn't say that word, but he said, yeah, that's all bullcrap. And you may have felt a spirit, but it was not the spirit. And we're having oneg, so I'm going to go eat with my wife. And I was like, okay, all right. But that was like...
Sad or not, that's a typical first impression.
It was the smack that I needed to my ego and my pride that actually was the beginning stage of my bubble pop.
Thank all of you. Thank you all who shared. I appreciate all of you sharing. I know all of you could share and have wonderful things. And I really love that you spend time during this week with each other, sharing your stories and getting to know each other. Especially we've got such a variety between those that are locally here and those that were maybe closer but then moved here, and others that came from as far as like Tasmania, okay, and Australia and others like that. I mean, there's just a wide spread. But you know what? When you meet everybody, you find out we're all the same. Our accents are a little different, but we're really all the same, And it's great to see that Abba's got us going through similar paths and similar experiences to get us to where we're going. I mean, there may be slightly different labels on it. One came from Catholic, another one came from Advent, but it's still Adventist or whatever, but the paths are very similar.